Welcome to Game of Roses. What a episode we have just witnessed. I have with me a very special guest. Thank you for being here, Carter Wright.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here. What an episode to jump in on. Oh my God.
Indeed. So I came across Carter on TikTok. He had a thing saying basically like, here's how to fix the shitty problems with the game mechanics of traders. And I was like, yes, exactly. This is exactly correct. Yeah. So I was like, please come on and talk about all the different things that we saw tonight with me. And here you are.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so excited to dive in. I'm a game nerd and strategist through and through. So I love the show so much and I want the best for it. So that's where that came from.
I feel the exact same way about virtually all reality TV that I watch. But let me ask you, just so we can get to know you a little bit. Yeah. Who's one of your favorite players from the past 3 seasons? Or what is like one of the biggest plays that you've seen that you were like, holy shit, mind blowing?
Ooh, that's a great question. I loved Bob the Drag Queen for entertainment purposes. I don't think Bob played a great game, but Bob understood the camp of it and the theater of it. And I think a lot of the gamers don't necessarily get that. Mm-hmm. And he was able to, even though his strategy was bad, still be strategic and make good TV.
I 100% agree. I went on his podcast a month or 2 ago. I do another podcast with my parents. It's about politics. And he saw that and was like, I got to have you on. But yeah, I think he was like a massively underrated player. And I agree with you. The kind of big, bold play style can put you out front a little too early. And he went up against Boston Rob and we know what happened there. But I agree. He was a fantastic player.
And like, because he played so hard, he's now co-hosting the podcast, the official podcast. So like he knows also you got to be memorable.
Yes, memorable. But he also, I feel like, is kind of, there are some players on Traders that their persona, their reality TV career is like bigger than Traders. He's one of them.
That's true.
And so I feel like they had Boston Rob as the one co-host who's like, he's going to be our strategy guy. And we know him from Survivor and all this kind of shit. And Bob the Drag Queen really is like the kind of comedic talent, on that podcast. But that podcast is great. Well, anyway, should we dive into this?
I think we have to. Let's do it.
This is episode 7. We have come off of episode 6 where we were teased with the big banquet. We don't know what the hell this is going to be. It's the first time we've seen anything like this in the course of Traders. Portion 1 begins. I'm going to say certain phrases that we use on this podcast. Like Dark Lord coming. We call all hosts of reality television shows Dark Lords. So I
think
may
for
say
Alan, that's fitting.
Oh God. He, by the way, to me is like, easily the greatest reality TV show host of all time. Close second at this point being RuPaul, in my opinion, in terms of what is given to the game. You just don't see. You could argue maybe Jeff Probst, but Probst still there's no character being done. There's no performance being given. He really is just some guy who likes rolling around and getting sweaty in the fucking sand and believes he owns the island. At any rate. Dark Lord coming comes out. He direct addresses us all about this banquet and the traders are dressed to kill. He says, we see Eric and Jam Jam saying they're not eating or drinking because it might be the death of them. And Maura thinks something bad's going to happen. The banquet hall is dark and insane. Everybody's in these wild outfits. They're coming in. Can we just talk about what was your favorite outfit of everyone and what was your least favorite? I think I know least favorite.
So my least favorite is Colton's.
No shit. Yes.
Yeah, I almost wore. So I have like these pearls right here, and I almost like did a mock full pearl with a jacket, kind of ode to Colton, but I don't know if it was too mean for my first appearance on the podcast, so I did not.
Too mean. Okay, let me look. We're a Bachelor podcast,
so we don't like Colton here.
Are you fucking? He criminally stalked his ring winner on Bachelor season 23, Cassie Randolph.
So we hate
and somehow
great.
skated, got hosting gig after hosting gig, got his own reality show on Netflix after that.
I always, support people coming out, but it really feels like he's using that as a shield, no pun intended, to hide from his terrible actions.
It's so crazy to me. And we talk about this a lot on our Game of Roses show. Like how he got cast on Traders, did they not know this shit? Do they not care? Did they think it was far enough in the past that nobody would bring it up again?
It's baffling. I don't understand. him and Michael Rappaport. I don't get it.
Rappaport, I'm like, there's a piece of me, like if I get into my, casting producer mind, there's a piece of me that's like, okay, Rappaport's restraining order was in the 90s. Maybe that's long enough. And like, yes, he's got some political views that like many people don't agree with, but he's kind of a live wire, outspoken, whatever. Maybe you cast him as the villain. You want people to hate him,
right?
And kick his ass. Fine. Colton Underwood stalked a co-star of a reality show he was on.
Yeah.
And you're putting him on another reality show. I don't fucking get it at all.
And like, to be honest, he's not fun to watch. He's not fun to root against.
Oh my God.
Even if you're like a bad person as a producer and don't care about that and want to cast him, he's still just not good TV. So like
100%. I watched, or I'm almost done watching, I should say, the show that he hosted called Are You My First on Hulu. It was,
I heard of this. Virgin I did not watch.
If you want to like him even less, you should do yourself the favor and watch that show. Right. He's miserable. He's so bad at it. Nonetheless, I agree with you. His outfit was absolutely insane. I do have to, however, somehow find that weird pearl
crown. The crown was worse than the pearls. I don't get it. My favorite was Maura. She is serving looks every week. I think that's the only reason she's there, and I respect her for that.
Well, I mean, let's just get into this right now. Yeah. Because I believe that there are, how to put this, right now, emails are going out to season 5 potential players right now, literally this week and last week.
Interesting.
Some of these players, like if you're a Survivor champion or a Big Brother champion or any CBS champion, really, you find yourself invariably in group chats with other people like that.
Right. Yeah.
As soon as those emails go out, those group chats light up. Did you get your email? Are you going to Traders? Teams are starting to form now. And I think the gamers specifically are pissed off at what's happening this season, where the gamers are just getting eliminated. Next season, I think you're going to have like a team 5 or 6 deep of gamers that come in and are just like, okay, if I get selected as a trader at breakfast day 1, I'm going to say, pass the butter. You will all know I'm a trader. We are going through to the end together.
Wow.
We will get rid of everyone else. I think that's about to start happening in this game. If I have anything to do with it.
Ooh, you're the ultimate trader.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't like when these games all reality shows are lies. We know that. Traders has some big chunks of it that are lies, like the game clock doesn't exist. Just the edit itself is like, why are you showing me this but not this? All the things that Ron Funches is saying about Dorinda saying this means shit to him. It's like, well, what is it? Why aren't we seeing that? You're giving her a better edit. And I think the gamers are like, at this point, they are playing games like Survivor and Big Brother, like real hardcore games at levels that give them a kind of understanding of these things that I think is even higher than the producers. And there is definitely sentiment now that exists that is like, we have to run this game. And I just don't think the producers are going to be able to stop it because the game isn't made well,
Right. It can easily be broken.
Yes. And that's what I'm attempting to do is illustrate some of these game-breaking strategies and see if they can be implemented. Nonetheless, we see Colton come in this weird fucking outfit that, again, I'm just like, that fucking guy checked himself out in the mirror and was like, yep, this is what I'm doing.
This is what I'm doing. Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand it. And I love my girl Natalie, but I did not love her look either.
Yeah, the gamers are look challenged. I'm not a big fashion person myself, but even I can understand this.
Yeah.
We see that everyone is wondering about who the murder in plain sight is going to involve. Players are wondering if anyone's missing, and Lisa Rinna indeed is the final one to come in her outfit with the poison brooch. She ITMs that she's the lone wolf. She loves it being the center of attention. ITM is when they're direct addressing the camera. It stands for in the moment, which is a term Bachelor came up with 23 years ago or whatever.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So she ITMs that she's going to be the most iconic banquet. This is going to be the most iconic banquet in trader history. She comes in and she reminds us she's got to get somebody to touch this amulet. And we see all the shit in this room. There's a turkey to be carved. There's tarot cards. Mm-hmm. There's all this kind of crap that is basically laid out to be confusion for all the faithful, wondering what element of this will get me killed. Did you think that Lisa Rinna was going to be able to do this?
I did. I don't I didn't think she would be able to do it without suspicion on her.
Yep.
Because she already had some. To be honest, going into this, I thought Dorinda was going to accidentally touch the brooch and just be like, love your outfit, girl. And then just like die. I could easily see that happening. But that being said, I do think she played it pretty well. Like it was a good strategy to be like, hey, it hurts. Like, help me fix it.
Yeah. I mean, it was interesting. To me, I thought as soon as it was laid out in the last episode what the murder in plain sight had to be, I was like, if you're a traitor, and this is part of like why the game is made poorly, there's no incentive to actually attempt to do this. You can walk in with the brooch on, and like if somebody touches it, great. If they don't, okay, I don't give a fuck. So no one dies tonight, because it wasn't even targeted. You know what I mean? There was no strategy in who got killed. It was just like, who did she think she could get to touch it? So it was just like some random thing anyway, you know? Nonetheless, she does get somebody to do it. We don't know who it is at first. We see her interacting with a few different players, Kristen, Jam, etc. They all sit down, they're all eating, and Rob ITM's not knowing if she killed anybody or not. But he's like, that's actually good. Gives me plausible deniability. Did you watch Love Island USA season 6 with him?
I did not, but I've seen clips. I've like done a little background on him.
He is one of the most interesting love game players, maybe of all time. That season is like a seminal kind of season in Love Island. It was the biggest USA one, most watched, gave us Leia Kateb, who's now at 6-point-something million on Instagram, and doing like Google ads and shit. But he was like, in my opinion, I'm watching that season like, is this for real? Is he doing some kind of weird piece of performance art? I had no fucking idea what was going on with him. And it's riveting. And it translates so well into Traitors. I'm blown away by how good he is at all of this.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to hear throughout us talking like your perspective on all of the Bachelor, Love Island people, because you view that as a game, and like it really is. And it translates more than people give it credit for to Traitors.
Oh, 100%. Because it's the game of those shows. Love Island less so, but certainly in Bachelor, the game of it is if you're the lead, the Bachelor, the Bachelorette, you're dating 30 people who are all lying to you. They all have come on this show to get famous. Some of them might catch a feeling or two and like, sure, maybe we can date after this or whatever, but they're all lying to you. And so your job as that lead is to discern deception and what level of it can you trust or go along with or whatever. And so when you come into Traitors, it's basically the same goddamn game, you know, and they're so good at it, all of them, with the exception of Colton. God. And I guess Wells Adams last season, he was the first one banished, but he's like a terrible player. No, not poor guy. He's terrible. We were all very happy about that one. And Gabby Windy won. Fantastic.
Love Gabby. Oh my God.
God, she's so good. Iconic. She's going to be in a fucking a scripted Netflix show later this year, or movie, I think. Fun. Sorry. I can't wait. Okay, so they all come in. Rob says this. Candace asks if she feels successful in life. Asks Lisa Rinna, and she's like, I do. So they're giving each other these like veiled kind of hints about, yes, I killed someone, rest assured. And I'm just like, what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah, it's interesting watching the Traitors talk in plain sight, and like how like last week they were in the kitchen. I don't remember exactly what they were talking about. You could tell that they were, Rob was saying, I don't think it's Ron who's a traitor, meaning like, hey, I know we all planned on voting out Ron, but I'm not going to. And I think that's definitely a specific skill for traitors that not everyone has, of trying to communicate to your other traitors without other people noticing.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Like if I'm playing a traitor, I'm never in the same room with the other traitors alone. I'm never doing anything like that, because there's just like, you're going to be able to have that conversation in the turret.
Yeah.
There's no benefit in it.
I think it's not necessarily, for me, it wouldn't be not being alone with them, because I think eventually people could get onto, they avoid each other, so maybe they're trying to not be seen together. But I think, the whispering and like people catching what you're talking about is tricky.
Yeah. Dark Lord Coming, aka DLC, shows up. He's wearing pearls properly.
Yes.
God damn that outfit. Every one of his outfits blows my mind. His performance every time blows my goddamn mind. I need to see like a scripted show of that character living in the castle in between seasons of Traitors. What is he doing with Fergus? What is he doing with the henchmen? Doing weird satanic rituals? Like I need that show.
They built the lore up enough that I think it could at least be like, a fun social media series. That's such a fun idea.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do it. Anyways, the henchmen come in. DLC takes the head of the table and he's like, I've got a story for everybody. And he tells them about the black dinner where an old Scottish king invited his rival clan over for dinner and just fucking killed everybody, which I think the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones might have been based on. Don't quote me on that. He says then, tonight's a case of history repeating. And at this banquet, somebody has been cursed to death. And then the guards come in and they have these 2 glowing potions. I did like this game mechanic, I have to say.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's always interesting to me to give like the faithful an attempt to somehow circumnavigate the murder, which is what we see here. And Dark Coming basically explains 2 of you are going to get to drink these potions. And if one of you is the murdered person, it will stave off the murder. You'll be able to live another day. And so we get this frantic argument of people like, I need the potion. Natalie seems to really be going gung-ho for it. This is going to come back to bite her in the ass later.
Yes.
Stephen is like, I cut the roast, and people are wondering who kissed who on the cheek and how many pieces of roast and who touched the knife and who turned over the tarot card and all this kind of stuff. And Dark Coming has to come in and go, players, you must drink the antidote now. And Natalie gets it and Kristen gets it. They are the 2 drinkers.
And there was almost like a tug of war for it at the end. Like,
well, that's Survivor. Do you watch Survivor?
I was like that. Yeah. Survivor is my like main show. So I was like, Natalie is getting this. She's not letting go.
Yeah. That's like when they're all in the very beginning, when they have some puzzle or some shit to solve. And it's like whoever finds the thing in the bush first is going to get the, and they're just like literally like elbowing each other and fucking sprinting after each other. I think that element of Survivor doesn't really exist in this game. Like there aren't really physical kind of altercations to get shit yet, but I wouldn't be opposed.
I wouldn't say no. I think I agree that I like this mechanic because anything that gives the players choices where you can watch other people and how they react to it. I will say like it's near impossible to know what the murder in plain sight mechanic was because it could be 1,000 things.
Yeah.
You almost have to pay more attention to how people are reacting and fighting or not fighting, which is what they did.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, there are certain like game breaker type strategies you could do. Like you could literally just walk into the banquet and everybody just be like, okay, everybody arms to your sides, sit in your chair, don't say anything. And we just sit here. You could do that. It'd be a terrible fucking reality show, but
it'd be really funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of like game breaking things that they haven't really done yet. Like they obviously voted out Lisa Rinna, but there's a huge problem in this game where there's no incentive to actually vote out traitors because they're just going to fill the slot with a new person, Yeah. Your incentive really, if you're faithful, is to identify the traitors and then keep them there as long as you possibly can. Right. So if they were smart, either led by somebody or not, this could just be a group decision, but you could sit at that round table and you could be like, okay, here's the deal. Lisa Rinna is a traitor. We all know that. We're keeping her here till the end so we can win the game. Do not vote for her tonight. Who else do we think is a traitor? And then you just stack up the traitors and you're like, well, okay, there we got all 3 of them now. Let's go to the end. Vote you out, vote you out, vote you out. We win the game.
That would be wild. Like to just ostracize, like everyone agrees Lisa is a traitor and she like has no say if you like have the majority votes and she just sticks around. Yeah.
I mean, that's how you would win this game, I think. And nobody has done that yet. But like, I feel like we're on the precipice of this game being really broken down mechanically, like where Big Brother is or Survivor is now after fucking 50 seasons, right. Nobody's going into that game, or rarely will they cast somebody into that game who isn't like a student of every play that's ever been made and how to do this challenge and, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. What's interesting, going back to the incentive, Traitors Canada, if they get out a traitor, their prize pot got bigger this past season, which is something that I thought like, that's, maybe a little something. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like a thing. Canada is civilians, right?
No. I don't know Canadian celebrities. I know they had some celebrities because I know Venus from Survivor was on there. It might have been 50-50.
Okay. That is more interesting with the money, obviously, because if you have civilians, the money means something. I'm sure you saw Carolyn Weiger's tweet that was basically like, housewives don't give a fuck about $250,000. No. It means something to us, though.
Right.
You know, that's a component of this that I think is it's lost maybe on, you know, the average viewer of the audience, that like Dorinda Medley does not give a shit about $250,000. She is there to be on a reality show.
Right.
You know, or
she's playing Monopoly with friends. She's just like a fun little game.
Yes, exactly. I mean, no Portia has 7 million Instagram followers. Yeah. She doesn't care about the money of this, you know, and something has to be done in the game to incentivize victory, because none of those housewives really care if they win anything. They're just like, some more screen time. So anyways, Jam Jam gets killed here. And as he is killed, the henchmen are brought in. They're pulling him away, manhandling him out of the hallway. And he's like, it was Lisa. She kissed me. It was Lisa. Now he has the manner of murder incorrect, but he has the traitor correct. And this is basically damning information. I did find it pretty interesting that in that moment he's yelling this, and it really is a death warrant for her. I felt like.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's the final straw. There was no way that she, even if she makes it one round by happenstance, like, she was never going to win the game now. If someone calls you out right after they got murdered, like, I would just, to be sure, if I was at the end, like, well, just in case, I'm going to vote out Lisa.
No, totally. And I mean, but that's kind of the thing that I'm saying. Like, even with that death warrant, it's like that should have alerted all the faithful to be like, okay, she's the traitor. Let's just keep her.
Right. Yeah. The meta strategy.
In the end, we can get rid of her and win the money. I'm not sure, like, season 1 to me was a work of art by Suri. I don't think we're ever going to see something like that again, simply because the game is starting to get like broken down a little bit, you know. I think
there were civilians then, which I think was there were civilians in season 1, which I think were necessary for her.
Yeah, totally, 100%. And you also had like that weird play by Ari in the end. I will say though, when he got eliminated by her, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, she is a maestro. But he did say I forget who was left, the faithful that was left, he was like, good luck, essentially implying she's a fucking traitor, dude.
Yeah. But they were like, nah, we're good.
Yeah. God, that season was great. All right, portion 3 begins. It's morning, it's breakfast. The first group that comes in is Lisa, Candace, and Rob. All 3 traitors are our first group through the door. They have not done that yet this season. And Candace is ITMing that she loves Jam Jam, but it happened so fast. Lisa handled her scandal, and Lisa says it happened all within 5 minutes. And we see the footage then of Jam Jam putting her brooch back on her thing. She's like, oh, it came open, help me. And he does. They then all agree they're going to try to diffuse the beef between the traitors, and Lisa wants Rob to do more than sit back. She's like, you got to defend me, because now I may have a target on my back. I need you to take some fucking heat off me. And Rob is like, look, I was verbal about Ron and Colton not being traitors. It would look super fucking weird if I voted for either of them. So he kind of defends why he voted for Lisa in the last roundtable. And Candace says the traitor relationship has to take priority over everything else. I agree with her. We have yet to see a group of traitors that is in lockstep. So far in every season, they have turned on each other at one point or another, and it's like disastrous for them.
They were, I think, held out maybe the longest out of any other group.
Yeah, that's possible. Episode 7. I think you may be right.
So like, good for them.
Yeah, they at least have that under their belt. Rob says, Rob says why he voted for Colton. And then Candace ITMs that they've been a well-oiled machine and she doesn't want to break it up because Rob's an idiot. Rob then ITMs that he doesn't like getting teamed up on, and Jam Jam basically signed her banishment certificate, and then he puts a hard-boiled egg directly to his mouth.
I thought he was going to eat it whole. That was crazy.
He ate so many hard-boiled eggs this episode, which I found hilarious. Did you see, he just put out a TikTok this week where he's holding this like Asian viper or something, some kind of snake, and it bites him in the face, and he just keeps talking. He's like, oh, this is one of my favorite snakes. It bit me in the face there a little bit, but
that explains a lot, honestly.
Yeah, that was like one of his claim to fames on Love Island season 6. He was talking to this woman, and he has like a literal spider just crawling across his face, and he just leaves it there. He doesn't give a shit. He's like a nature man. I don't know. Group Gross. 2. Dorinda, Mark, Johnny, Eric, they all discuss Natalie being a lot. And Lisa says she drank the antidote with no problem. So she's trying to plant the idea. Maybe it's Natalie. Mark chimes in and he's like, that move had to be intentional. And Candace and Lisa are trying to dispel the air kiss, which Mark is basically saying, you air kiss so many people, blah, blah, blah. Group 3, Morris, Steven, Colton. Steven ITMs that he has heat on himself for the first time in the game, but that might be a good thing because traitors will keep you around if they suspect maybe you'll be banished as a shield.
You don't want to be the most faithful of the faithfuls.
Exactly. You know who I thought played actually like a superb game, and I think he didn't even know he was doing it, was Lord Ivar last season.
Oh, interesting.
He played a complete nonchalant strategy, almost an oblivious to why he was even there strategy. Yeah. And like no one gave a shit about him ever. He was never targeted.
He stumbled into a win.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to be kind of like, what am I doing here? I remember there was one scene of him. Truly. What's that?
Failing upwards.
Yeah, totally. There was one scene of him eating like beef Wellington or something, and he was like savoring it. They like really lingered in one shot, and I was like, that's the strategy. You just come for the food. Colton then comes in. He starts talking about the kiss thing, and Lisa's like, I didn't kiss you though. And Lisa's like, you're a dog with a bone and you're not going to drop it. And Colton's like, I don't feel like I have to dog you. And then Colton ITMs that he's been the one presenting evidence, and he has to be careful about how he plays it. He doesn't want to have more attention put on him. Group 4, Kristen, Natalie, Tara. Tara apologizes to the whole group and essentially says, I was overwhelmed with emotions. I didn't know what to do. She ITMs that it hurt her heart to see all of her faithful friends going. Natalie also apologizes to Steven for letting the situation get the best of her when she drank the potion. And she says, now I've got some damage control to do. Then Dark Lord Cumming comes in, tosses down Jam's picture, and he tells him the traitors are there. What's that? Sorry,
the line that he said, what was it? And Jam is now toast or something.
Yeah. All those little like corny puns and shit, but he fucking delivers it.
Yeah, complete 100% straight, and it's iconic.
Yeah, like he never breaks that goddamn character. It's really well done. And I don't know, like, obviously RuPaul plays a character, but it's like a persona. That's the whole deal, This is something like different where it's like it is Alan Cumming, but it's this other
He's
weird
playing himself.
Yep. Yeah, some heightened, demonic, satanic guy. I don't know. I love it though. It's why this is my favorite show. I think
he got whatever the brief was in like the casting call for host. He understood it.
Totally, and also like how did they come to him? I don't know the story of how he became the host of the show.
I don't either.
I need to look this up. I'm gonna have to look this up now. This will be my deep dive tonight. But I'm like, did they come to him? I'm sure this was a thing that's like, we have a new show coming out. Like, I know there was a show called, I guess all these shows do this. There was a show called The GOAT on Amazon that had a bunch of reality players competing in a game. And they had Tosh .0 or whatever. Yes. Daniel Tosh. That guy hosted it. Terrible if you watch that show. Simu Liu has hosted one of these shows for Hulu called Gotta Get Out.
I watched it.
For
Interesting
real.
Game mechanics. He was never really there, I don't think.
They shot him out in a day, 100%. He was in front of the house being like, here's how the game works. And he was in that room that had the little model of the house, 2 shots of that. And then everything else was voiceover.
Yeah.
He wasn't there at all. And I bet he got paid pretty well for that. Exactly. He's like, how long do I have to do this? I have to shoot for 8 hours and you're going to pay me $2 million? I will be there for 8 hours. We see Johnny and Steven discussing the possibility of Natalie. And he's ITMing, Johnny's ITMing. We've got to figure out which traitor to banish first, correct? Colton tells a small group that Jam was on his sketch list, so he doesn't care that he's been eliminated. Candace tells people that she was too aggressive going after the potion, talking about Natalie, and she's skeptical now. And then Kristen is like, what about Lisa? And Candace says she feels stronger about Natalie. So Candace is really trying to pivot everybody onto Natalie.
I'm worried it's going to come back to bite her next week. People are going to start to put it together.
I mean, here's the thing about this show that I'm constantly questioning. We see the document they're presenting, and that's all that we're seeing, however they want to edit this shit. Yeah. I personally think almost everyone there knows Candace is a traitor.
Really?
Absolutely. That conga line.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if you heard, apparently they had been talking about a conga line separately multiple times. It wasn't brought up out of nowhere. So it was like a thing that everyone knew about. And she was just like, well, now we have a chance to do this thing. So it wasn't a random idea, which I thought they should have included that because it made her seem insane.
100%. Yes, 100%. Like I remember watching that episode and I'm just like, how is anybody watching this happen in the mansion? Not like from an audience perspective, but as a player perspective.
Right.
How's anybody watching her doing this and thinking anything other than she's a traitor and they're doing a murder in plain sight? Rob Has a Podcast immediately clocked it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't. I mean,
he's running away from it.
Yeah, he's a smart player for sure, but like. Yeah. There's other people who could have clocked that too. That's all that I thought. But yeah, if they had included footage of her already kind of bringing it up, it would have like softened that and made it believable that people wouldn't think she's a traitor. Interesting. Right. I mean, I just feel like there's a lot missing from what we get to see.
I think the biggest thing that is both the reason I love the show and the reason that it has problems is it tries to be both a housewife show and a gamer show, obviously. And so it tries to have all of the drama and the camp while also being strategic. And the tug it never quite meshes, which is interesting to watch, but it breaks it sometimes.
I agree. But I think that's because of the soft game mechanics. Like you can throw a housewife, like show me a fucking season of Survivor with all housewives. Holy shit. I'd lose my mind. This show could be that, except that the game mechanics are just like too confused. Like it's not a fair game from the beginning. Take, for example, last season, Boston Rob gets to come into the game in round 3. So how is that fucking fair? You know what I mean?
8 in season 3 or whatever joined late.
Yeah, randomly. Exactly. Whenever you're randomly joining late, it's not fair. Also, the selection of the traders is subjective. The producers choose those people.
It'd be random.
100%. 100% I don't get why they don't do that.
Yeah, because it's not fun to watch them be like, what would production choose for a good TV season? Like,
exactly.
That's Rob not the game.
Is kind of in the end of this episode, Rob even kind of uses it as a strategy where he's like, imagine if there were 3 housewives in the turret. And so when he's saying that, he's trying to implant in the other players' minds, like, think about what the producers might be crazy enough to do. That has nothing to do with gameplay.
Yeah.
It's so fucking annoying to me. At any rate, because I agree with you. This show is like, I always liken it to the mixed martial arts of reality TV. You get to see these, it's like pure style versus pure style, housewife style versus survivor style versus bachelor style. And you get to see who is trained the best in these psychosocial dynamics, games of manipulation from what franchise, like which of those franchises trains you to be able to do this.
Yeah.
But it's like, if the game mechanics aren't applied evenly to everybody, then what the fuck am I watching? It's not a game.
Yeah.
Tara and Natalie are talking, and Tara is like, I don't understand why you needed that antidote so badly. And she's like, I don't know. I was confused. And I don't know. And Tara's like, I think she's a traitor. Lisa comes into the conversation and Natalie's says to him that all the traitors now are dead. And she goes, we murdered one. And so this is the same thing that, was it Tiffany who did this in the beginning? Portia did this in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so now Lisa's going to try and glom onto this and do the same thing. And it's like, that didn't work the first time.
I know. I was surprised at how quickly it gained traction because it didn't work the first time. But I guess you're grasping for straw. Lisa is definitely grasping for straws. So
no, totally. I mean, once you're in the crosshairs like that, there's not much you can do, and you have to, like, anything that you might be able to get a hold of, you got to just use to your advantage. But a bad strategy nonetheless. Moradin and Mark and Rob are talking about Lisa being in the crosshairs after Jam Jam said her name at the murder when he's being hauled off. Also, like, where did they take him? I wanted to see the next scene where
they just like, they just stands up and he's like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. It's back to the hotel. He goes and has a couple beers with the henchman.
Also,
Rob tells
quick
him.
Note. Sorry, quick note on Lisa. She was so defensive. I think if she had just said, I kissed him on the cheek, but that wasn't the way that he was killed. Like, there were a ton of other things that happened. I think because she got so into, I didn't fully kiss him, it just made her, is that he said, she said situation, and it made her look even more guilty.
Oh, when she had that scene with Colton, say what you will about Colton, and I have said a lot, but when he sat her down on the couch, and when he was like, "I'm going to hold a housewife hostage," it's like, dude, you put a tracking device on Cassie Randolph's car. I don't know if you want to say that. But when he sat her down and he basically was like, "I'll protect you at the round table if you protect me in the turret," and her reaction was like, "What? I'm not a traitor. You're a traitor."
Yeah, literally like,
oh my God.
I know you are, but what am I? Like,
she just gave it away. She's so bad at being a traitor. Sadly, because I get why they picked her 100%. We all want to see her as a traitor.
I mean, TV wise, perfect traitor choice.
Yeah,
game wise,
exactly.
Bad.
Yeah, she just didn't know how to hold the role. Portion 4. We begin. It's the mission. We see Tara is in the car telling Candace and Johnny and Maura that she does not think Lisa is a traitor. Lisa tells her car about Natalie's slip up about saying we murdered somebody. And she tells Mark that slip up is kind of a strong thing and they need to vote for her. The cars come up this fucking road into the mountains. There's Ellen coming with Lala sitting by. Stop. A bunch of backpacks. And he basically tells them, here's the challenge. You have to take these backpacks full of rocks, run up the hill to this monument where you're going to dump the rocks into these treasure chests, and the rocks will equate to an amount of money that will be given to the prize pool. And the 6 players with the most rocks in their treasure chests are going to get the option or the ability to play for this dagger, which is going to give somebody 2 votes at the round table. This is straight out of Survivor.
Yeah. And speaking of Survivor, they have problems with some of their challenges being inherently sexist. And I think this one was as well. Like, it's so physical. Yeah. It's inherently unfair. But
totally. I absolutely agree. I'm like, well, Rob and Colton are going to win this one. And indeed they did. I mean, some people, I guess, gave their rocks to Steven or whoever else. And that helped get them in the game. But yeah, who were the 6? Let me have this written down. They win 17.8K. Colton, Eric, Mark, Natalie, Rob, and Steven. So it's all guys and Natalie, who is your Survivor player. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but I mean, they did get at least the funny footage of Dorinda and Candace and Lisa trudging along and being like, this sucks. We're housewives. And that's always kind of a thing they do with the housewives is like they're a little bougie.
Out of their element.
They can't be out in the wilderness for too long. So we see these 6 players go to the dagger challenge, if you will, the sub challenge within the challenge. Rob has the most gold, so he is told that he gets an advantage in this challenge in playing for the dagger. All 5 other players are sat around this little kind of semicircle. They have a tablet in front of them, and very much like we saw the secret traitor getting selected, they're going to have to look at what's on the tablet and not give any kind of hint, no reaction, no facial reaction. And then Rob will get to question them and potentially take one of their tablets, stealing the dagger from whoever may have it. I guess this just wasn't that cool to me. It wasn't that cinematic, this weird little sub challenge.
No, and I think it was more than an advantage because the other 4 people that didn't have the dagger, they couldn't do anything at all. They had no chance to ever get the dagger. So they weren't really playing. Yes. They were just pawns in Rob's game. Yeah. I wish it had been kind of like Dirty Santa where they all go, then Rob gets to choose last, but at least the others had a option of trading with other people first.
I 100% agree. It was boring to watch. It was like, can Rob figure out who has the dagger? Turns out he can. That was unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
That he was like, I'm a human lie detector. And I was like, okay.
Damn,
and then he did. He was
surprised. I kind of thought it was Steven, watching along. Steven was so over the top that I thought it was him, but guess not.
But also this comes back to what are we seeing? I have no idea if any of that footage we saw is actually what transpired, if that's a second take. I have no idea if any of that was real. It seems like it might have been, but I also really don't know. I also thought there could have been an interesting strategy here for those 5 players to all just say, yes, I have the dagger.
I was waiting for someone to say yes.
So was I.
I was curious if someone could just not talk. Was that an option? Just stand there?
Exactly. There's a million things that you can do in those situations, I think, where people are like, just, hey, are you a fucking traitor? Or do you have the dagger? Whatever. Some kind of just direct question. There's a million things to do to just go wild. And then you have no baseline to be like, were they lying or not? But nonetheless, he can somehow tell that Natalie has this dagger. He ITMs it's because she couldn't look him in the eye and lie. And so he gets it. And, we then go to portion 5. This is what the show calls reality, which when they're back in the castle and they get to walk around and talk to each other. We see Candace and Lisa are eating. They're talking about Johnny being on Lisa heavy. Candace tells Lisa that she was trying to push Natalie, but Lisa, your name is going to come up at this round table. You got to be prepared. And Candace ITMs that she hopes Lisa can escape this banishment. We then see a group led by Johnny say, you have to say what you heard, Lisa, at the round table, referring to Natalie's misspeaking about, saying we murdered somebody. Rob then and the dagger players all come back. And what he does here was my play of the game. He gets them all together and he says, we're doing a pact. Don't tell anybody who has the dagger. It serves a couple of functions. One, the obvious one, which he says in an ITM right after this, is it builds trust with that little group. They all think he's a faithful, obviously, as a result of this. He knows they're all faithful because he's a traitor. But it also isolates that information. And anytime you can isolate information, really in any time in life, but specifically in this game for sure, you're giving yourself a massive advantage over people who don't have that info.
Absolutely. I think because he went against Lisa, it was a risky move. I think it was ultimately the right move because now he has all these faithfuls on his side. And that's ultimately more important to have faithfuls on your side than traitors.
100%. I mean, that's really, I think a lot of people look at this game and they think being the traitor is like the harder play. And I just don't think it is. It's actually being faithful because traitors are like, first of all, if you're a traitor, you don't ever have to worry about getting murdered. So 50% of the way. 100%. So you're sitting there like sitting pretty on that. So you just have to worry about not getting banished. There are multiple ways to not get banished as well. You can literally not be suspected, or like I was saying with like the possible Lisa Rinna strategy, they can know you're a traitor and keep you around to the end. Doesn't matter if you win. You just need to make it to the final episode so you get screen time. That's the name of this game. To get your Instagram numbers up and maybe get brought back for season whatever, there's going to be a Traitors All-Stars, I'm sure, coming up in the next 3 to 4 years. You want to be on that. If you're a faithful, you not only have to identify the traitors, you have to keep them close so that you can get to the end of the game. You have to lie to some of them to make them think you don't know they're a traitor. You have to watch out for other faithful getting suspicious of you if you know too much about it. It's like a much harder game. And so here he's basically lumping himself in with those faithful by doing this. I just thought it was a fucking brilliant play, like super high level.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. Even
Me
I didn't watch the show, but like he's great.
I'm always rooting for the love game players because I just feel like the love games they're more interesting to me because a big component of them is that the players must maintain the lie that they're not games at all, that I'm only here to fall in love. There's no game I'm playing. Meanwhile, I'm like, I actually literally wrote this book called How to Win the Bachelor. It is a game. You can play it. I'm training people to do it and they do very well. So that kind of fascinates me, the maintenance of that lie. Whereas in like Survivor and Big Brother and shit, and Traitors even, you're not only playing an open game, you're actively rewarded for doing what we would call for the wrong reasons plays in the love games, like lying and cheating and manipulating. It's like you do that in fucking Bachelor, you're out. In Big Brother, you fucking win the game. All right, so they come back in. Steven tells the other players, we all made a pact about who has the dagger because it's going to put a target on somebody's back. This I thought was a little bit of an error. Candace ITM's annoyance at this pact. Johnny says that everybody's on Natalie and they need 7 to control the table. They all agree to vote for her in this little group. Then we see Mark, Rob, and Eric are all saying, no, we're going to vote for Lisa. And Rob's like, do we have enough? Mark says they do. Rob ITMs that Lisa is getting voted out. And Rob talks to Steven and Tara about it. Steven then tells Rob, we're voting Natalie. And Rob's like, what the fuck is going on? Candace is cooking up something. She's fighting for Lisa's life. And Natalie comes in to tell the group that Lisa is saying her name. Rob ITMs that he's going to take on Lisa Rinna and he doesn't want to get chewed out by 2 scary housewives.
Yeah. If you shoot your shot, you got to hit.
Yeah, this is like one of my favorite things about Traitors is how well they build up the roundtables to like, okay, here's what you're going to see going head to head. And he even says it, I'm going up against a housewife.
Yeah.
That's like a scary thing for these players. Colton Underwood says it later. And as well, it should be, because they can wield that emotional manipulation tool better than anybody else. Yeah. Portion 6 begins. We have the round table. Lisa ITMs that she's terrified going up against Natalie, and Survivor people scare her, but she's survived 8 years on Housewives. And so she's going to win this one too.
Sure.
Natalie ITMs that this is the Natalie people should be scared of. The angry Natalie is the best performing Natalie. Candace ITMs. What's that?
And that's true, because like her season that she won, it's because her twin got voted out first, and she was so angry that fueled her.
Her rage took her through to a championship. Wow. Candace ITMs, she's got to keep Lisa out of the hot seat. It's not going to be easy. Dark Lord Cumming comes in. The dagger is here, and he's pointing to it, and they have it's stabbed into this wooden block under some little lighting. You know, I fucking absolutely love it. Lisa opens by bringing up Natalie, saying, when we murdered. Natalie denies it. Tara is brought in. Tara's like, I did hear it. Sorry. Natalie says there's going to be mess ups with, misspeaking and stuff, but she thinks that Lisa's doing this to get the heat off of herself. And that's why she's coming at me. And then Johnny comes at Natalie for fighting too hard for the potion. And Natalie's like, I was in fight or flight mode, past the point of reason, scared for my life. Colton then says, let's talk about Jam Jam. He said your name, Lisa. What's
going back to Natalie? I'm trying to think of, in my head, Natalie fought so hard for the potion that makes her seem faithful. Like, I could get the strategy of being a traitor and wanting to get the potion, but she was so insistent that it made her a target. So like a traitor wouldn't do that. Does that make sense?
100%. But like, I will say this about this game. I think if you do anything with enthusiasm, you're fucked. Whether you're a traitor or a faithful, it's like they seem to care about this a little too much. And that's all it takes for somebody to, if you speak a little too loudly, if you fucking do something a little too brazenly, you could be.
And that's the thing that's broken is like it rewards boring people, Lord Ivar.
Yeah. Totally. Exactly. The name of the game really is floating until the finals. Until you get down to about 5 or 6 people, you just want to be like, not even there.
Wallpaper.
I'm just a fucking shadow. Because if you don't, you're invariably going to draw the attention of somebody who will fucking put your name out in some capacity, and then you're fucked. Because once your name is on any list, it's like they're just going to go down the list.
Right.
And they may vote 4 or 5 other people off before you, but if your name has been brought up, you're getting voted off.
Yeah.
And that is kind of a mechanical problem with it, I guess. Nonetheless, Johnny then comes at Natalie for fighting too hard for this antidote. Colton is talking about Jam Jam and saying Lisa before he got killed. Candace says that that Colton or Jam Jam, fake cried. Lisa says the heat was already on her. She doesn't know why he said my name. And Natalie says it does nothing for him. He was already out of the game. And Lisa's like, I don't know. I was just giving air kisses to everybody. I don't know. I don't know. And she kind of, it feels like she has already given up here. Like she already kind of knows the shit is over.
Yeah.
Dorinda comes in and tries to launch a defense here, saying like, that's what housewives do. We're all just air kissing everybody.
Her defense was annoying to me because she was arguing that Lisa air kissed, which is like fine, but that still could have it doesn't mean one way or another. That could have been the way to kill someone. Like
totally.
Her argument made no sense to me.
No, absolutely. And that again, I go back to that, like, what are we not seeing? I need 24-hour video feeds, basically, like they do a Big Brother for this fucking game.
I'd pay good money.
Unfortunately, I would too, but that means they would have to like not stay in a hotel and actually sleep in the castle.
Actually stay in the castle.
Yeah, all that kind of shit. The facade of the show, which I sincerely appreciate. This show looks better than any reality show. The pomp and circumstance of everything is fucking amazing. And I don't think they would be able to do that 24 hours a day.
That's true.
They could. That's true. Shit. Nonetheless, Rob then comes in and is like, last night emotions were high. That might have brought the worst out of people. But the best thing to do is take emotion out of the equation. You think Natalie might be a traitor because of this, but what would be her motive for going for the potion? Bringing up essentially the thing you just said,
Yeah.
She gains nothing from being that aggressive about the potion. And Rob says, as faithfuls, we are awarded nothing. We only have guesses. Brilliant speech play here. He's positioning himself as a faithful, saying we, and he's identifying problems that faithfuls do in fact have in this game. You really only have guesses. And he says, but with Jam Jam, the last thing he said is Lisa is a traitor. And he says, I can't sit at this table if he's right. And that's it. He basically fucking KOs her right there. It was brilliantly done. It was not quite as good as in my opinion, Bob the Drag Queen and Boston Rob's head to head at that round table. That was a work of art.
I will say eventually people kind of clocked the traitor on traitor of that. And I think Rob did a good job of not being like the Colton versus Lisa. You don't necessarily want to be the main matchup, but he supported it enough to get Lisa out.
Yeah, 100%. I thought that the only real misstep I think he ever had was voting for her when he could have voted. I don't know. I mean, I understand his rationale about not voting for Ron or Colton, but I think he could have voted for Ron and like minimize the heat coming from Lisa because the vote was going that way anyway,
That's true.
At any rate,
go either way.
Lisa says, I kissed everybody. And Rob is like, your response to all these things is either that didn't happen or I don't remember. He just keeps coming at her. And he's like, why would Jam Jam lie? And Dark Coming comes out. It is time to vote very soon, but first. And he's like, does anybody want to use this dagger? Raise your hand now. Nobody does. Rob ITMs that he's not going to use the dagger on Lisa. He's going to use it to save himself if people are coming for him. Smart play, thinking down the road. Time to vote. The only votes, Mark votes for Lisa, Tara, Natalie, Steven, Lisa, Maura, Lisa, Natalie, Colton, Lisa, Eric, Lisa, Candace, with my error of the game, throwaway vote on Rob. What the fuck is she doing?
I don't know. You don't want to draw your attention to yourself that much. Like,
She basically gave the game up, I think. I think in that moment, she was like, I'm a traitor, so is Rob. That's exactly how I would have read that if I was at the fucking round table.
Yeah, it's not a good look for her. And she'd been playing so well up to this point. So I was surprised by that.
I don't know, man. I feel like she's got some questionable decisions made at almost every turn. That conga line, really, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And like you're saying, maybe she was talking about it earlier. Fine. Right. That would have alleviated my suspicions of it a little bit. But this is like, no one has ever voted for Rob. Why are you doing this?
Yeah. I don't get it. I think it's going to come back to bite her.
I do too. I think it's going to come back to bite Rob too, though. Because now at this point, you're like, eventually when traitors get knocked out, if they've voted for somebody that's out of the pattern, you're like, oh, that person was a traitor. That's been well established in this game at this point. I think she has maybe, issued this kind of final parting shot that's going to maybe make the faithful win the entire season. If Rob is the last traitor standing, I don't know. Kristen votes for Lisa. Johnny, Lisa. Dorinda votes for Maura.
What is Dorinda doing? I don't. The Dolores of the season.
Yeah. Natalie votes for Lisa. Rob votes for Lisa. Lisa goes up to the circle. She gets the most votes, goes to the circle of truth and says, I am the most iconic, legendary traitor, which is a reference to what both Colton and Rob have said when they voted for her, voting for an icon who was legendary. Everybody goes wild. She skips off the stage and she ITMs tears, being grateful for the experience because it was hard for her when Housewives ended. And now she gets this chance to get back on reality TV and do her thing. I did feel sad to see her go, but happy that she did get to have this opportunity.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
I agree. The Housewives, say what you will about them. They can do that. They can put on the tears and they can make you feel some type of way about them. DLC says, time to rejoice. He congratulates them all. He tells them the faithful, they have to enjoy their time in the sun, but pray you see the dawn. And Rob ITMs that Lisa's out. He's pissed at Candace for writing his name down. And Candace ITMs that we have a snake on our hands. That was buffoonery of epic proportion, she says. He's willing to betray the people that helped him. And she's like, his choices are going to have dire consequences. Colton then says to the other players that he was scared of the housewives, but he just took one down. He attributes this to himself in some capacity.
Yeah.
He ITMs that may. Sorry, go ahead.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I just every time he's on screen, I'm like, fuck, get this guy off of TV. He ITMs that sending her home as a traitor redeems him. Johnny and Colton then are talking. Colton tries to equate skating to football. Johnny Weir calls him a bear. Colton says, I'm on Steven now. Something's off. Not making sense to me. Just is terrible at this game, but he's playing at 150 fucking %. And Johnny ITMs that everybody loves him, but thinks now he's a traitor because he gave them Lisa. Exactly what Candace has done to Rob with this weird vote. Colton asks more about Candace defending Lisa. Rob says, do you think it's possible that the turret is full of housewives? Brilliant to lay that seed. Because now you have them thinking about things that have nothing to do with the game. They're going to throw evidence out the window and be like, producers would do that. And that's it. Now he's got Candace and Dorinda gone. Bye-bye. If that works. We also see Johnny telling Candace that he thinks it's Colton. Johnny says to Candace, Rob is close to Colton. Maybe they're both traitors. And Candace is like, yep. And she ITMs the bad bitch is ready to play a game and she has to take the snake down, cut it off at the head. They go to the turret, reveal themselves to each other. And we end on this moment where you're like, oh shit, are they going to punch each other? What an episode. What an episode. So we are now to a point where we need another traitor. Who do you think they're going to ask?
I'm not 100% convinced they'll get a recruitment, but if they do, I'm trying to think of, they need to get like Johnny or Tara or Kristen or Steven, like the quiet ones that are all aligning together. I think getting one of them could work really well for them. I don't know how well they are at lying though.
Yeah. I would go with Mark Ballas. I don't know if he is good or not at the game because he's not in the edit ever. I've watched some of his TikToks, but
I'm a Mark Ballas truther though, because I've seen his TikToks too. And I think he's going to the end of this game. I think he's so smart. And I think they're hiding his edit because they're going to give him a big edit in the next few episodes.
Interesting. But I think if that was true, this is my meta game happening. If that was true, why would he be making TikToks trying to be like, no, look, I am a good player?
That's true.
I don't know. That's who I would pick if I was them. But this is based on the edit. I don't actually know what's going on in the game or anything, you know?
Yeah. The actual relationships and whatnot.
But yeah, it's interesting. Maybe they won't pick another one, but I do think they probably will. This was episode 7. We have 5 more episodes, right? Is it 12 episodes and a reunion?
Yes, I think that's right.
I think there's 5 episodes left. It's like, are they going to try and skate by with 2 traitors for 5 episodes? I feel like they got to pick one.
Yeah. Who do you think they pick, Mark?
Well, no, I think they might go Kristen. And I think she'd be a good choice too. I think she's not suspected at all, but I think is like anybody who has become a champion of any of these shows, even in the like artistic competition shows like Top Chef or RuPaul or whatever, there's something in that mindset of like having gone through a lengthy game of attrition to become a champion of that I just think is like invaluable in these games. So I would try to choose somebody like that.
That makes sense. It's like a marathon, not a sprint mentality of like grinding every day and the production of it. I think, I don't fully know how Housewives is filmed, but my understanding is it's not like 3-week every 24 hours. It's like a couple days here, a couple days there. And so probably the constant filming could be hard for them.
No, totally. And the Housewives, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, all those kind of like docu-soap shows, the housewives, the main characters of the shows are basically controlling the production. Like if producers come to them and they're like, okay, today you're going to go, take a pottery class with these 2 housewives. If you're the main housewife, you can be like, fuck that shit. I'm not doing pottery. Next. Right. And they have to do what you want, The other games are not like that. You kind of have to have deference for whoever the host is and the producers and all that shit. And I just think it gives you a different mindset of like, you're not the one in control. And certainly that's true in traitors. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, nonetheless, thank you so much for joining me to do this. Where can people find you? Where would you like to send them if they want to see Traders content or anything you're doing?
For sure. You can find me, Carter and Wright, A-N-D, both on Instagram and TikTok. I have been posting a lot about game theory, reality TV, whatnot on TikTok. I also host my own fan-made version of The Traders, where me and a bunch of friends got an Airbnb and played out a game. And a lot of my friends are comedians, so it was a very fun weekend, and we filmed it, and that's on YouTube. It's called Traders Chicago.
Chicago Clout. We designated all the different cities where Bachelor players move to after they come out of the show. We gave them like team names. Chicago is the Chicago Clout, for what it's worth.
Chicago Clout. Represent.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Carter, for doing this. And thank you all for joining us. We'll be back with another recap next week. And you can check out me watching Traders in Clues Corner on our Patreon, patreon.com/GameRoses. See you next week.
Bye.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.